And we're live. Hi, Claire Yosa here with an EUVAT action update. And I want to talk to you about where we're up to with the finance ministers, the fiscal attaches, and the latest on the threshold. So for those of you who are aware, we had a meeting at the Institute of Directors. Thank you very much, Ali Renison, back a couple of months ago, 6 weeks ago, where representatives from Donato Raponi's office were there. And Donato Raponi is in charge of VAT in the EU Commission, so his team are the guys who brought this legislation in. At the start of that meeting, the vibe was very much that the VAT problem, the EU VAT problem, was only a UK issue, and that it was only due to the fact that in the UK we already have a good high VAT threshold. By the end of the meeting, they actually understood much more clearly it's an EU-wide issue. It's not just down to the VAT threshold, it's the fact that most of us can't comply due to the complexity of all the different ways of proving where your customer is and working out which of the 80 plus VAT rates to apply during the transaction. They also admitted that they never intended the legislation to affect micro businesses. It was meant for the big guys. They also admitted that this kind of legislation would normally be very much watered down if it was going to be applied to small businesses compared to the big multinationals. So all of this was fantastic breakthroughs and we were very positive. Donato Raponi's guy at that meeting said, yep, he completely understood the need for a threshold, and that is what Donato Raponi is now campaigning for. So do not underestimate what you've achieved. Every letter, every tweet, every interview that you've given has made a difference. In the space of the last 6 months, Donato Raponi and his team have gone from ignoring our 50,000 signature petition completely through to saying, oh yeah, we need a threshold. Yes, we know that. Let's get one. Now, the thing is, the threshold's not here yet. It has to be agreed by all 28 member states. And when you talk to the people at the Commission and the European Parliament about this, that's when they go kind of quite pale. Getting 28 people to agree is hard work. The brilliant news is there's a summit in Dublin from the 7th to the 9th of September where all of the finance ministers and fiscal attaches from the member states are going to be there. They're going to be talking about European VAT in general, and the European digital VAT rules are going to be one of the major items on the agenda. This is our chance to get an agreement, at least in principle, for a threshold. So the fantastic news is while I was on holiday 10 days ago, Donato Raponi's team, we did a conference call and they've actually asked me to attend to represent micro businesses at that summit. I'm absolutely honoured and I will be going there, and let me know via the comments in our Facebook group, EUVAT Action Campaign, what you need me to say. Yeah, check out the website first. We're probably saying quite a lot of it, but the message you need to get through will get through. So this is fantastic news. Basically, this is our big chance to get the 28 finance ministers in one place talking about VAT, agreeing a threshold. Even if they agree it, there needs to be a public consultation. It then needs to be ratified. This could still take a very long time. So what we're actually asking the UK to negotiate on our behalf is, once the threshold is agreed in principle, is to agree a suspension of the rules. In the meantime, an interim suspension in the time it takes to legislate this threshold. Most people are now agreeing it was never meant to hit you. Most people are now agreeing they didn't understand how micro businesses were using the internet, so they didn't consider the impact. This is an unintended consequence. We need the finance ministers to agree a threshold and also to agree a suspension. Now, the threshold at the moment, the word on the street is that they're looking at a threshold based on the amount you're selling into the EU outside of your own home country, which would be fantastic. It takes away the whole argument over harmonisation of VAT thresholds across the EU and what's fair and what's not fair. The slight snag is that not all of us have payment systems that tell us where our customers are. If you've got a threshold that is based on where your customer is, then you need to know where your customer is, and if we could prove to audit standards where our customer is, then we could probably kind of comply with the legislation. So you see the chicken and egg here. So one of the things that we need to know from you is, in your country, do the most common the payment platforms used by small businesses and micro businesses, do they give you the customer location reliably? So This is going to be an article on our website. It's going to be up in our Facebook group, so you can go to euvataction.org/updates to find this video. Let me know via the comments, and let me know via the comments on the Facebook group. Can you find out with one piece of data where your customer is? Because there is no point in us agreeing and being excited about a threshold if we can't actually prove which side of it we're on. The other thing is, it's been the summer. Letter writing slows down, politicians are on holiday. When they come back for this summit in September, we need their inboxes and their post trays flooded. Every single member state's finance minister needs that flooded with information about why you need a threshold and a simplification of the rules above the threshold. There's a list on our website. You'll find it on the replay of this on the website, euvataction.org/updates, of all the finance ministers in the 28 member states. If any of them have changed, or there's mistakes or changed email addresses and you spot that, please let us know and we'll get it updated. Please write to your MEPs. They're the people who represent you in the European Parliament, your members of parliament in your home country parliament, and your finance minister, and tell them they need to vote for a threshold at the summit in Dublin in September. And they also need to suspend the legislation for micro businesses while that threshold is put through as law. The more of us do this, the more likely that the summit in Dublin is to say yes. This is our big chance. So I implore you, take action, share this in your business groups, let people know. EUVATaction.org/update. Let me know via the comments when you've written your letters. And if you've got any questions, let me know. We'd love to hear from you. We're here to help, and we can't wait to see what happens in Dublin in September.